I believe the most valuable thing you'll ever leave your children isn't something they'll inherit, it's something they'll remember. One study found that children who experience warm, supportive relationships with their parents are more likely to grow up as compassionate, resilient, and emotionally healthy adults. That is a really amazing legacy to leave. The reality is, whether we're intentional about it or not, we are creating and leaving legacy every day with our children. And if that's true, then perhaps one of the most important questions we can ask ourselves is, what are my children learning about life, watching the way that I'm living it today? Mark and I think about that quite often, whether it's our habits or behaviors or our workout schedules or our relationship or our self care. And, there have been times in my life that I know that I have modeled things that my children have interpreted as strength, but truly what they were survival mechanisms. And now that they're older, I'm having more and more of those delicate yet important conversations with them. And I'll give you an example. One of our daughters is working at a Fortune 200 company and she's crushing it. She's just turned 30 years old and climbing the ladder quickly. And the company is embracing her and her skill sets and her leadership and all the things that you could be proud of. One of the things that she and I have recently had a long conversation about was, how did I do it back in the day when I was balancing my family, my children, my husband, my career, my mom, my dad, my brother, my friends, all of the activities that go along with that, including self-care. And if you notice in my list of things that I just ranked, self-care was dead last. And if I'm honest with you, and I was honest with her when we recently had this conversation, self-care was just never on my list. Honestly, our dogs, Max and Sugar, came in front of my self-care as I was growing up through my industry and growing through my career and, becoming a corporate leader. I'm watching her turn that same corner. And in hindsight, what she saw as me as a giving, loving, always dependable, always reliable, always there, as she says, a one of one mom, which I'm thrilled that she thinks that. But this idea that I went through all of those years, 35 years of a corporate career where my self-care was nowhere on the list, it's disheartening to say the least. It's disheartening in ways that, make me sad for the person that I was then. But then I think, it was also survival for me at the time. And none of us actually want to leave a legacy where we're watching our children just merely survive or just, utilize survival instincts as a way of life. So she and I had a long conversation about that one topic, and it made me think of this topic to spend time with you guys today talking about. So I want to start with a couple of key elements for me. And if you have any comments about this, definitely leave them below because I try really hard to respond to your comments. The first thing is, I want to leave my children with a life that they want to imitate. Not replicate, not do it all the same, but imitate. Our children are learning from the lives that we are living every day. So asking myself, not only what have I modeled and reflecting on that, but what am I modeling every day is an important question at this phase of life as I venture through my 60s. Demonstrating to them, not just telling them that gratitude is important, but demonstrating gratitude to them every day is something that is in my list of reflection that I would like to model, along with showing them that my purpose as a corporate citizen, my purpose as a mom, my purpose as a daughter were all wildly important to me. but that my purpose can also evolve as I age, that my purpose can still be important as I age, and my purpose can still drive me as I age. Having them see that relationships, friendships, my relationship with Mark, my relationships with each of them, my relationship with their grandchildren, not only take priority, but they take intention.